you're looking at the National Guard headquarters in our nation's capital in Washington, D.C., we're showing you this picture because President Trump is going to be deploying National Guard troops onto the streets of the nation's capital. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth saying that those troops, those National Guardsmen, will be on the streets within the week. So we're days away from National Guard troops patrolling the streets of the nation's capital in an effort to fight the crime there. We'll have more on this throughout the day. Also, we're going to be taking it to New York and the stock exchange there as the opening bell rings there in a few minutes. I can tell you that pre-market trading looking good on all of the indices. The Dow, S&P 500, and the NASDAQ are in the green. The bottom half of our board not looking so good at the moment, but we'll keep you updated and again take you to the New York Stock Exchange for the opening bell here in short order. First, though, let's get you back over to my good friend David. David, just really quickly, not to belabor this, but are you feeling, and you live in suburban Washington, D.C., but I would imagine the feeling also extends even beyond the borders of the district. Are you already feeling a change? Are you feeling a change, maybe in atmosphere as a result of what the president is doing?
Not yet. And I also think it's important to understand that many of these 800 National Guard troops are going to be doing, I don't want to call it clerical work, but they're not necessarily going to be on the streets. Some will, for sure. But it's not like 800 of them that have been called are going to all be on the street. So I think that's important to understand. But this is going to be gradual. So let's check back in a week, 2 weeks, and let's see where this goes. But I definitely think there'll be, no doubt, a noted presence for sure. Brian Glenn talked about that the other day, so we'll see. But I think it'll happen. It's just going to give it time, for sure. Yeah. Okay, T-Bates, time now for our daily dose of dollars and common sense. We've got American Sunrise Early Edition host, the guy behind Jake's Takes Substack. That would be Jake Novak. All right, Jake, give us this news. We got the big inflation report coming in this morning. What do you got? Give it to us.
First, I got to apologize. I'm sorry I'm dragging all the viewers into the economic report geekdom, but here we go. Hey, it came in better than expected. 2.7% annual rate of inflation. They were expecting 2.8. Not a big difference, but cooler than expected. The core rate, when you take out food and energy, I don't know who can live without food and energy. I can't. I don't really like that statistic at all. That came in slightly higher than expected. In other words, folks, that doom and gloom that the news media was telling us was going to happen, that we're going to have crazy, terrible inflation, the tariffs are going to destroy the economy, still hasn't happened. They've been telling us this every day since April, and it's not happening, and that's why you're going to get a higher open on Wall Street. I don't know how we're going to close today, David, but the doom and gloom number did not come out again this morning. In some cases, it was pretty good. So once again, you cannot listen to the doom and gloom people, and you can let me be the geek with the numbers about, these kinds of inflation numbers. Please don't become a numbers geek because these reports are dubious in the first place.
Yeah, do this at your risk your own health for sure. Well, just so I understand apples to apples, what was it last month? I mean, so where was it exactly in terms of without food and energy?
Yeah, same number. I mean, we didn't have any change really from last month.
Unchanged.
It was also the annual rate. So basically the annual rate came in. It was expected to tick up a little bit higher. And it doesn't mean that the tariffs aren't increasing prices in some things, but it's just not bleeding over into the overall economy, as so many of the experts, supposed experts, told us. And again, you got to be really careful. The economy is it is a science. And you can't, you got to let the actual experiment go through before you say what's going to happen, right? And that's what's happening now.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's talk about big media deals. I guess talking also about inflation there, because CBS's parent company Paramount Skydance paying $7.7 billion for the broadcast rights to UFC fights for the next 7 years. That's interesting. UFC, Trump. What does this tell us exactly? What's going on here?
Well, first of all, we've got a confirmation that they are going to have this UFC cage match on the White House lawn. That was part of the deal announcement. But this tells us something very important, something I've been trying to let everybody understand if you haven't already noticed it yourself. In this era of the internet and recorded programming and all that other kind of stuff, live programming that you can only really enjoy 100% live, like sporting events, because you don't want someone to tell you who won afterwards, and the news, those are two very valuable properties in today's media landscape. Now, CBS, as you know, is a mess with their news division. So Paramount Skydance, which bought CBS and all the other Paramount properties, is trying to emphasize now live sports. Now, CBS has an NFL contract. they are absolutely going to flood CBS with more NFL-related content. That's a big reason why they got rid of Stephen Colbert. I think they're going to do an NFL sports-related show in that hour. That's my guess. And this UFC purchase is further proof to my theory. They are going to do live sports programming or sports-related programming, and maybe they'll do something to the news division too, but I don't think they're going to do much. I think that they would much rather invest in stuff like this.
Yeah, and a couple of weeks ago, you said that. That's exactly what you said about CBS going more to this model, if you will. I say model, but it's just business smarts at this point. So, all right, Jake, thanks for being here. Appreciate you as always.
Have a great day.
All right, American Sunrise, 7 a.m., early edition. Jake Novak getting the early call every single morning, Monday through Friday at least. Time to head back to T-Bates in Denver, the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange, sponsored by AMAC.
The Association of Mature American Citizens is the conservative voice for Americans 50 and older. AMAC is fighting for the values that you hold dear. Join today. Together, we can write the course of America.
We are less than a minute away from the opening bell at the New York Stock Exchange. Momentarily, you'll start to hear the applause, and then we'll count down for the bell to actually ring. And right on cue, the applause is underway. You can see, excuse me. You can see the applause happening. The bell is going to ring momentarily, and then we'll get an idea of how the markets are shaping up. Pre-market trading has been up and down, a little bit more up than down. So let's see how things ultimately are shaking out now that the bell is officially ringing and the markets are officially open. Just like that, the Dow and S&P 500 are in the green. They've stayed up. The NASDAQ falling, actually now back up again as things start to take shape on this Tuesday of trading. The bottom half of our board, as you can see, though, all in the red, but it's just the beginning, so a lot can change over the next 8 or so hours of trading. If you happen to be stressed about back taxes, maybe you even missed the April deadline, or your books are a mess, do not wait. The IRS is cracking down. Penalties really add up fast. We're talking 5% per month, up to 25% just for not filing. The good news is there's help. Tax Network USA can take the burden off of your shoulders and stop the spiral before it gets worse. They've helped thousands of Americans, whether you're an employee, a small business owner, or if you haven't filed in years. If you've got messy books, no problem, they've got you covered. They've really seen it all, and they know exactly how to clean it up. With direct access to powerful IRS programs and expert negotiators on your side, Tax Network USA knows how to win. You'll get a free consultation, and if you happen to qualify, they may even be able to reduce or eliminate what you owe. More importantly, they'll help protect you from wage garnishments or bank levies. So don't wait for the next IRS letter. Instead, call 800-905-8000 or visit tnusa.com/RAV to talk to a real expert at Tax Network USA. Take the pressure off and let Tax Network USA handle your tax issues for you. Coming up, the early frontrunners for 2028, a new Emerson poll takes a look at who's leading the pack. It's all ahead here on American Sunrise.